Blog Talk Radio.
Here at ACO Radio, American Communications Online, or any affiliated stations or websites are not responsible for what guest hosts or call-ins may say. All programming is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only.
Hello, world. Welcome to American Communications Online Broadcasting. And this is TJ Morris ET Radio in Gulf Breeze, Florida. And we're broadcasting out of New York with the Vox Company on Block Talk Radio. And today we've got a wonderful lady out of California, and her name is Johanna Derbolowsky. And Janet Lessin, my co-host, should be calling in a few minutes from Maui, Hawaii. But we're all doing our wise women, and we're going to see how we can use quantum and get Johanna to help us figure out what all we're going to be doing in the future together as wise women. So wise quantum women and after 2020. But she's the developer of the Quantum Heart Field Experience, and is recognized as one of our metaphysical teachers and spiritual counselors and energy healing coaches. And Johanna has worked for more than 25 years in the field of metaphysics. In addition to her primary work, she's an ordained minister with the International Metaphysical Ministries, hypnotherapy and matrix energetics practitioner. And she does past life regressions and timeline therapy, and she's a Reiki Master and life coach. So everyone knows she'll fit in really well with our group, our ACO Club, our ACE Metaphysical Institute. And Janet Lessin's just joined me, and then I'll get back to the Johanna standby. Janet Lessin, is that you from Maui, Hawaii?
Yes, it is. I'm calling in. How are you today? Oops, there's a doggy.
Oh, goodness.
Are you okay? Yeah, somebody's at the door. Anyway, good morning, everybody. I'm Janet Lessin. I'm calling in from Maui, Hawaii. I'm the co-host, and this is Wild Women. Wise Quantum Women. Anyway, I call it Wise Wild Women because I got a website. It's on the Wise Quantum Women. Anyway, these are wild and crazy women that are wonderful and wacky, but we're wondrous and amazing creatures that are the divine feminine incarnate on the earth. So, are you back? Is the dog done? Did you get your door?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Johanna and Janet and everybody. My daughter's banging on my window, and that's why my dog's going crazy. She left her keys in the house. Just my luck.
Well, you know what I did? I got one of those on air. I got it. It's red. I got it on Amazon. It says on air, and when I'm broadcasting it, it's in my window. So if they come up, they go, oh, "She's broadcasting," and it works. It really does work. They're not. I used to have people banging on my door. You know, I can't really control the phone too much. I have to turn it off, but that definitely hurts. The off the street traffic.
I'm on radio.
Okay. We're on the radio, dear. We're not going to have a conversation about what you're going to eat now. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you finish Johanna's what will you do? Her bio. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm here, so I want to hear more about Johanna. How do you pronounce your last name? Derbolowsky.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Derbolowsky. Okay, So back to you, Theresa, and then I want to talk to Johanna. Okay.
Okay, let's, folks, I apologize. That's what you do when you're remote. We've been doing this about 8 years now, and for those of you, that was Coco. If you're a dog person, she's a little 8-pound Shih Tzu, and my daughter that's 50. So Johanna has a private practice, and she's been conducting seminars in the United States and Europe, and she teaches classes. And I was very fortunate enough to find out that she was just teaching at the A.R.E. Edgar Cayce Center, and they put it up for their people, and then they work out how many people and things like Janet does. And we're going to be doing workshops, we hope, with Johanna in the future. So later on, we hope to have her back to get into more of the details. But she is a best-selling author. The Transformation Promise was the name of her recently published workbook called 28 Days to Love, Joy, and Personality. So I guess that's two different things we can talk about. Yeah, they're two different. One's a book, I guess, and one's a workbook, possibly. Or is it the same thing, Johanna?
No, it's they're totally separate. One is a book, and it's a self-help book to get you to the next level, and the other one is a workbook, more like an exercise routine to actually implement things in your life.
Well,
so that's love, joy, and prosperity.
Those are three wonderful topics today, folks. 28 days. Yeah. I'm going to let you explain that. I know we're going to have some questions for you, but I told Janet for the first hour we'd like to get to know and let you talk about where you were born and about yourself and how you got to us today in 2020, because we're all transforming and finding ourselves in this ascension age with lots of relationships and how we're moving forward in the now. And I know you teach all that. So, and then we'll get into the quantum heart field experience and what all you do with Sedona, International Metaphysical Ministries, and hypnotherapy. So can you start back in Germany so you do the when I was a little girl story?
Well, I was born in Hamburg, Germany, and I grew up in a, fairly metaphysical family. And so things that most people I've met here had to learn later in life was more natural in my family. And, I grew up also seeing things, and then I wanted to fit in and tried not to see anything and not to be different. And then the wonderful thing happened, the 60s, and people were hallucinating, and so I thought, oh, this is perfect. I can just fit in. And I don't even need to take anything to do that. So, and then after high school, I went to the University of Maine on a scholarship for 1 year, and I fell in love with the large amount of nature that you still have here. And so after going back to Germany, I decided it was too crowded, and I moved to New York City, which, is even more crowded, but
it's
somehow
crowded.
That's how
That's
it
hilarious.
happened. And then, and then I moved from there to Los Angeles, and I've been there ever since. I love the ocean, so it's home.
Where are you in Los Angeles? What part?
I'm in Manhattan Beach, just south of the airport.
Which city? L.A.?
Yeah, the city is Manhattan Beach, but it's sort of the south end of L.A.
L.A. Okay, yeah. My sister-in-law's from L.A. My husband grew up there, but I just visit once in a while. All right. Well, that's fascinating. So, what made you think that New York was less crowded? Going back to that, that's hilarious.
Well, I didn't think so when I was in Maine. In Maine, I thought I'd never seen that many trees in my life in one place.
Wow.
And it was beautiful, but it was really too cold for me. So I moved back to Germany, but there, as a country, it's more crowded. There's not that many big natural areas anymore. But when I came back, I got stuck in New York for a few years before moving on from there. Just how life happens.
Well, that's how life happens. Well, in New York, you can go just a couple hours north and you're in a bunch of forest. At least it was like that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you discover northern New York state? It's really beautiful up there.
Yeah, I went up and down the coast, and but I, started to have a job in New York, and I got married in New York, so I stayed, and then we moved out here together, and I have 2 adult children, and they're complete California people.
Oh yeah,
real beach people, both of them. So.
Yeah. So, how are you doing? How's things in? I heard that there's a hot spot there going in Southern California. Are you affected by the coronavirus?
No, I'm a little bit more of a hermit, so it hasn't affected me that much because I work mostly on the phone, good. And I wear a mask. I'm careful, and it's not that big of a change for me.
No, I'm at home
luckily.
All the time too. So, yeah, that's good. So tell us about your practice. So you do, tell us all the things you do in your practice.
I do, before Corona, I taught workshops.
Yeah.
So right now I'm not doing that. But I taught workshops on intuition or how to be your own best psychic, and it's geared towards, I love to teach because I think if you just give people a reading or you do a healing, then that wears off after a while unless they can grasp it and really elevate themselves. So my mission is to teach them how to raise their own energy and keep it there, wherever they're getting it to.
Wherever it is. So how does somebody become more psychic? That always was a curiosity to me. Like I came in psychic, and some people just aren't psychic, and then I hear about people teaching people how to be psychic, but I couldn't teach. Some of the people I know, they couldn't be psychic if they got hit by a Mack truck. I mean, they just aren't naturally psychic. But I came in and I could see ghosts and extraterrestrials and interdimensionals and out-of-body project and all kinds of stuff. But I wouldn't begin to know how to teach that. How would you approach that?
Well, I haven't met anybody yet that doesn't have psychic abilities. And even the people that I thought could never get it, always in my experience, turned out to be actually better than the ones that I thought were easier. I think mostly what you have to teach them is to trust what comes to them. And you can teach that in several ways. I mean, I have a whole, program over a couple of years to teach people that. But I think the biggest point is we all see things and we all dream things at night, and we have thoughts that are really far out. But most people don't trust that is actually something that is real, so they dismiss it. And
don't their beliefs or their preconceived notions get in the way as well? Like they may see, ETs, but they don't want to see it, so they use, like, for example, their religion, and they're not going to see it no matter what anybody says.
No, it's like when the Columbus ships came to South America, so I can't remember the story exactly, but only the shaman could see the ships, and none of the other people could only see ripples in the water. It's because that's what our brain works. Our brain is a computer, so what we don't input into it, it cannot recognize. So if I see a tree and I don't know it's a tree, then it's just some fuzzy colors. And because my brain doesn't know what it is. So that's the same thing. You have to sort of open yourself up to input into your brain to recognize what things are and to be open. Now, if you're completely closed off to wanting to learn to see and to be intuitive and psychic, well, then that's not for you.
Right. Okay. So
I wouldn't try. So
you're not trying to convince anybody.
No.
So you're only working with the people that are wanting. They have a strong desire to open up to that potential within themselves.